Hey guys, and welcome. We are live. Um, Today is Sunday, the 6th of March, and we saw some pretty crazy moves earlier today at the um, open of the market. And right now, we're just looking for some potential entries. Um, yeah, there's some crazy moves. I know the Australian is really strong. Um, we saw close to 50 pip movements today. So right now we're just analyzing, seeing what we could find. Um, Friday, uh, we did a live session and we made a total of 4%, which all we needed was three. So we're super excited about that. Currently, we have not taken any trades today. We did see that the market was actually pretty crazy at the opening of the market. So right now we're just taking it slow, seeing what we could find. Hope everyone has had a great weekend. Everyone got to spend time with their family. Let's get to it, guys. Let's see what we find. And currently, guys, I don't know if you are aware, but we have a private chat that's going on simultaneously. So if you hear me um, speaking with some of the students, it's from a private chat, which you will have access to if you decide to join us for our live sessions. That was an interesting move there. Ooh, I did catch that earlier today. I saw this low way down here, and actually, I was looking for, and this is long term trading, is what I'm referring to, but I was looking for a level here. But the indicators I had were um, showing the potential of a drop to go down even further. So I waited on it. Um, I'm glad I did because right now, uh, some pretty good profit on Euro CHF. So just to let everyone know, things going on in the war and whatnot really have markets moving um, pretty crazy. So um, right now we don't. really just take any old trade that we possibly see. We actually wait for the best entries, and they don't um, appear too often during volatility like this. However, I'm sure we'll find one, maybe two. If we can make our percentage, that would be pretty amazing. So far in the previous, all the previous sessions since the break of the Ukraine and Russian conflict, we've still been able to make our percentage and actually more. So, it's just a matter of patience. Just a matter of patience. No, Nate, we have not taken any ideas yet. We're still looking. Yeah, we were gonna start right at 9, but um, we had some technical difficulties, so we weren't able to start right at 9. Mm, Missed that. The USD has been really, really strong. To be completely honest, Friday, um, we had a good session. We actually ended up recording the session and actually a couple of videos. Um, we gave a little bit of insight so far as the discipline and um, just overall advice of when you're looking at the market, you know, and it actually went really well. We ended up taking a trade. We did not call out that trade, but um, it was one of the most stubborn trades that I myself have ever taken. It was just one of those where you're fully committed and you know almost with 100% certainty that it's gonna go the direction you want it to go. It's just it was taking forever. And after more rollovers than what we wanted to take, we still ended up clearing it. Jeez, that chart's still ugly. Let's see what we got here. Throw on a little more confirmation here. So the Australian and the New Zealand dollar have been really, really strong. Since Friday, we had the non-farm payroll, and the New Zealand dollar and the Aussie dollar really, really, um, they moved. They were super strong, and right now they're still pretty strong and almost equal in strength. So that's a pair that I really don't mind really looking for an idea. Now here on my Bollinger Band, I'm seeing price has rejected off the midline here, and it's on its way down. It is touching the kind of respecting that 200 EMA. Um, the 50 is down here. I believe maybe at the 45-minute mark, maybe even 10, we'll see price all the way down here and it'll give us an entry. So I'm going to mark out a zone because uh, if you've been on my sessions before, I've explained that there's a level that always lands between the 786 and the 886 of the fib, and it almost always gives a reaction off of it. So what I see is, if you've um, also been trading with us long enough, we know that price likes to react off of whole numbers, quarter numbers, or quarter theory. So we could see a move up on the 450 area, and that would be an overextension of the 786, while it actually be less, but there's always that area in between. And when that level or this area isn't respected, it usually goes straight to 886, and that's exactly where the bottom of our Bollinger Band is. So I really don't mind that area. So what we're gonna do is we're going to set an alarm, or an alert, I'm sorry, at the 450, and all we're going to put here is up. And so far, that's the only pair I really see anything on right now. So we'll just have this ready. Guys, I can't stress enough that I have to take lower amount trades, lower risk trades. It's not even risk, it's just lower amounts, because I just don't want to compromise this channel. So I don't want anybody saying that we're trying to entice people and whatnot. No, we're not going to take the 618. And the clear reason for that is because, as you see earlier today, we've had a lot of wick rejection here, which made a very strong resistance level. And we're going to go with this zone here. And the reason I don't want to take that now is because, as you see, it's already respected it. It's only going to respect it for so long until it decides to break right through, and then it's gone. And it's going to go to where we want it. Now, the reason that I made this alert here is because if you see here, we had a level of resistance here. It came up, wicked up here, went back down. If you see here, it came to this zone, wicked it, and then went up. So that's really, enough of a reason for me to take it. If you see, this was a important area too, because this candle here came down to here, but had to respect this area for some reason. What the reason is, well, I don't know, but it was a well-respected area. Now, if you look at our 786 area, which is right here, we don't see much respect there whatsoever. there's not much respect. I mean, this one did. Well, actually, it didn't. It closed actually a little bit. No, no, no. Yeah, this is the 786 level. So it respected it here, kind of here, but it really wasn't much there. So I wouldn't trust it, honestly. So we're going to look at this level here. And if we see our opportunity, we'll take it. Hey, Billy, how's it going? Yeah. So, as you see, price came down to here. Now, it's a whole number. It's the 500 area. It's a good area, but as you see, it overextended below it. However, if you notice here on all these candles, it shot above it and eventually went below all these candles. And when it came up to it again, it disrespected it. It went above it, closed above it. Um, the next candle, it went really high, closed here, so it didn't respect 500. So if we would have taken that for a 5-minute trade, I am not 100% that we would clear it. So if you see here, it stayed above, then it finally dropped, then it went up, wicked out. If you were in rollovers, you'd have probably lost it. And then the next candle straight above it. There it goes disrespecting. And this is the kind of move here where if you were noticing here, when this candle came below, that wasn't at the beginning of the 5 minutes of this candle. This was in the last couple minutes. So you would still be in that trade right now and you would be out of profit. Hey, Freddie, how's it going? Yeah. We'll come back to this pair. See, it's not respecting that whatsoever. Whatsoever. So we're getting close actually to um the 45-minute mark. And what that means is, for anyone that's new here, um, price can go super low or super high super fast. So we're not going to just take any old random trade. We're going to make sure that we have all our confirmations before we attempt to take it. So earlier you saw the bottom of the Bollinger Band was right at our 886 level. Now it's past our 886 level. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to come to our 886 level. What that means is this band is going to want to move up to the top of our zone. And if you've been trading long enough, you'll see that when a pair goes down to the bottom, plenty of times it's going to overextend below that um, lower band. And at that point, you could pretty much say it's a safe trade at the 886 level in this case. still messing around. Seeing this is the candle that would have probably spiked you out. Because what would have happened is all that movement down here was taking you out of profit. And when it shot up, it would have probably have said, gave you the false impression that you were gonna stay in profit. Then it came down again, and by that time you wouldn't have been able to roll it over. So it's too risky of an area for me. I personally didn't like it. Oh, that was a good one. Overextended. Seeing this is what I'm talking about, is like this candle here came down below the lower Bollinger Band and just shot up. That was a pretty random area. It was the 618 of the Fibonacci retracement, but for me, it really didn't hit anything at all. Even this wick here, it was still below it, but it respected the 618. Let's see where odd NZD is now. Still messing around at that 500 area. Oh, we have 1 minute on the 15-minute candle. So what I could pretty much say is you're going to see some either one serious drop at the 45-minute, and if that's the case, we can see about if it's going to really make that trade valid or not, or it can wait till the um, 10 o'clock hour. And if you are also wondering why I don't take a sell or a put in the meantime, is my RSI is not in an oversold nor overbought condition. Both of my other indicators here are both way into the oversold position. So what that tells me is, if anything, it might want to do a move up, but being that the RSI is in a neutral area, I don't have really much confirmations to go off of. So usually when that 45-minute candle comes, if it's gonna make a major move, it would have already have done it. So I'm pretty comfortable with saying that this will reach this area about 10 o'clock. So let's keep looking here. See, maybe the euro will give us an entry. Seeing the euro's been really weird. Friday, it almost had no strength whatsoever. It just dropped and continued to drop all day. Today, I had seen an important level on the daily uh, chart, and the level that it reached has not been reached in a very, very long time. And it was an important level, so that's why I actually ended up taking a trade on traditional forex. And so far we're doing pretty good. So it seems as though the euro is starting to gain a little bit of strength for the for the beginning of the week. Not much going on. All these are wicks. Let's take a look at our currency strength meter, see where we're at. Okay, so we see the francs, the weakest currently. Canadians the strongest. Odd and ZD, like I was saying earlier, pretty much equal today. Oh, don't tell me that's what it's gonna start being a true flag now. So as we see, we're gonna do a little bit of um, looks like a wedge. Let me make this a little more clear. Widen this out a little bit. So what we can expect to see here is price that's already going above this pattern. Come back down, retest this area, and then continue to the upside. See what level that would be. And if anything, it actually has to be like a quick spike to the downside before going up. So I'm looking at the 32 area. So I have some good little rejection right here. Came down, rejected it. Came down, went up, closed below it. Not a whole lot. And this has a little bit of movement to make. That's probably another setup on the 10 o'clock hour again. It's actually moved down a little bit. Still in a zone I really don't care for. So what you see here is the 720 level, and it is respecting the 50 EMA. And again, I really don't. I like it, but I'm not in love with it. And the reason being is that the RSI is still in a neutral area. That's the thing is when you are looking at these certain levels and zones, what ends up happening is if you take one you like more times than if it's one that you love, you're gonna lose. So what I can see happening here is I want to see a move like this to this zone. I want to see it reject it really hard to come down to our zone. And now, mind you, let's not look too closely at where the arrow ends. We're just signifying in this zone here before we see a continuation. And what we would see in that pattern is maybe a head and shoulders. And the reason why I would think that it would be a head and shoulders is because you have the left shoulder, you would have the head. It comes up, respects, goes down to this area. This would be the neckline. This zone would be the neckline. So to go up from here, make the right shoulder. As you see, the left shoulder goes up, comes down, goes up, comes down a couple times, sometimes a few times. And I expect to do the same thing. So you'll see like the first uh, wave, if you would, of the shoulder. It'll come down here, make the second wave of the right shoulder, and then just go back up. And then once you see the break of this zone, meaning it comes down here, disrespecting our 1 or 1.0 area, you would see it come to this level here, test this level, and then continue to the downside. Now, if you notice, this candle here tried to go up to that zone, but being that we're coming up on the 10 o'clock hour, you can really see this price start to move. So we'll get our platforms ready, and the price we're looking for is 450 to 445. Again, that was odd NZD, 450, 445. And this, I want to take it for 3 minutes. We'll do this for 3 minutes because what I'd really hate for it to do is the 10 o'clock hour come and respect it, but then once 10 o'clock on the dot hits, it just decides to continue dropping. And I really don't want that to happen to us. So at 3 minutes, we're really taking like a 2.5 minute trade. If it just goes down really quick, gives us our zone so we can take it for a upward movement. And what could happen also for this 10 o'clock movement is we could actually see where it'll retest up here. And that zone would be 515. So it'd be 515 for the downside. And I actually don't like that because that's not even a fib level. And here it could go up to the 527. So if we see 527, we see 527, we can take that for a downward movement. Or if it just drops to 450, we could take that for a upward movement. And I changed the clock back to 5 minutes for the sole fact that um, the 10 o'clock hour is going to come whether we like it or not. Really quick, we're going to look at the factory. CHF. CHF. That's not till later on. Refresh this. Make sure our time. Yeah, we still got plenty of time. Yeah, you guys see those massive wicks. So 527 for downside or 450 for the upside. And it's making an indecisive candle right now. I could tell you that. No. We're we're not um we're not looking at anything um super definite right now, aside from this pair. Man, this pair's really, really on one today. So this is 450 and 445 for an upward movement. Oh, don't do that, broker. Okay, it looks like it's gonna be an upward movement. Josh, it's no big deal. Um, it is 445 to 450 for a upside move, and it is 527 for a downside move, I believe. 525, 527 for a downside. Right now, we're leaning for the upside movement from the 450 to 445. Yeah, it's a good level. I honestly prefer the 445 because we know if it goes to that 445 level, that's the 886 level, and that's ultimately our last fib level um, that we personally analyze with. So if it disrespects it, well, it's gone. And that's the beauty about the 886. If it doesn't respect it, don't even bother rolling it over. Actually, I'm gonna move this because we ended up at a 2-3, so we'll just kind of even it out. A few bucks ain't gonna make a difference. Don't use that random spot. Okay, so we're getting close to the oversold area in the RSI. Uh, Stochastic RSI and DMI are almost ready. Again, they're just indicators. They're not 100% foolproof. They are there for the sole reason of giving you just added confirmations that you have a good chance. That's it. And because ultimately, if it's in an oversold position, it could stay there for a very, very, very long time. Like this trade, we've literally um, been looking at it for about close to half an hour. Also, what do you guys think of the new challenge? Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Just to show you guys, all to show everyone. Well, if things go right, I mean, it could be sooner than a year, but we're not gonna force it. There's a war going on, that's the bottom line, and you know, yeah, exactly. So, um, for everyone that cannot see this chat, one of the students just asked if this level's being used, and if not, is it just retesting a EMA? Um, for sure, it's retesting the EMA. Once it breaks below, it always goes up, and it's going to retest it. As you see, it did that here to this one. However, if we're really looking at the big picture instead of just wanting to take a trade, um, depending how this candle closes, that's going to tell us if it truly used the 786 level, or if it's just retesting an EMA, or finally retesting this. And 3 minutes is a long time. No, I don't. So another question we just had is, well, what if we would it have been possible if we could have taken this for 1 minute? And the short answer is, can you? Yes. Should you? No. Yeah, trust me, guys. I don't want to steer anyone the wrong way because, you know, um, this is a volatile market. The reason we're waiting for this, for anybody still wondering, is one, we're at the bottom of the Bollinger. We're at a good support area. We're at the last Fibonacci level. We're in the area of oversold conditions on 3 different indicators. So that's why we're looking for that area. If it was a normal market, yeah, 786 or a break below it, just a little below it, all day long. But personally, you just can't trust any plausible entry. Yeah. So, I mean, it's using this level here where these candles were made this price action here, but that's not enough for me. Hey, no problem, Zach. No, we haven't taken any ideas yet. Um, we are currently looking at an idea here on odd NZD for a potential upside movement at 445 and 450, and then a downside movement at the 525 527 area. Oh, no worries. We're not rushing anything. No, it's too much news going on to be uh, taking a lot of ideas. Yeah, we've literally been on the same pair for like half an hour. It's okay. We could find one solid setup. That's all we need. Yeah, no, I don't want to look at it on the 1 minute because the way price is moving, all it's going to do is confuse you, honestly. Thank you. Yeah, that um it's all about consistency. No, that's the funny part. I mean, uh we've you guys on our private channel, how many sessions have we taken where it's been literally a free session and you know the numbers don't go up, and that's the funny part. You offer something to someone for free and they don't want it. charge them Charge them a lot. Oh, I want it. Charge them a little. No, don't want it. It's just people. It's funny. You guys have been uh, with me for how long has it been, guys? Yeah, it's pretty close to a year. You guys see the results. You guys, you you've never had to pay me um, any kind of ridiculous amounts, and a lot of you now are making way more on just one idea than what you guys would normally pay uh, a month. See, and that's the thing. People don't understand that. Yeah, exactly. Uh, yeah, it was long enough to take the 76. I didn't like it there though, to be honest. And even the candle that it left, I still don't like that either. Oh yeah, I did mention that on the video. And I'm super super proud of you. You know, being able to literally go from $100 to 2600, it's literally mind blowing. Okay, maybe I'll give it to us on the 15-minute. So I'll get ready again. Here comes the drop. Ah, come on. Yeah, 450 and 445. Yeah, and you guys literally have to be ready for it because the way it's going up and down super fast, it could just spike in for that entry, and that's it. It's getting closer. Yeah, you guys at 15-minute. Here it comes. Yeah, if you see the top of the screen, if you see where um it shows the trading view tab, it's actually showing the numbers. So that's what I'm looking for also. Yeah, it's within 1 point. That's not bad. So it's 5, 6, sometimes even 10-point differences that really throw you off. It's really, yeah. 451, 449. Now, 441. It's right at our zone. Got a good little rejection off of it. Let's see if it could hold it out. Yeah, no, that's the only one that I really liked. It's having a great reaction so far. The only thing that yeah, the only thing I really didn't like is that it was almost the full 5 minutes. It wasn't even, the 2.5, 3 minute, but it should hold it out. But that's, again, that's why we took that 886, because that's your last chance at a fib level. Then you had the rejection, you had the support there. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, it should. Yeah, if it would have been like the 2.5, 3 minute, that would have been like really, really good too. Boom. Super clear. So idea completed, and I'm sure some of you guys might have even had the fixed time in your favor, where it was only like a 2.5, 3 minute trade. Mine was literally the full 5 minutes, and saw it came down at the last second. But remember, it's all about taking these important levels. 450 to 445. What it close at? 450. That one would have maybe been a lesson, but that's how come I gave the two areas. And even if you guys are watching, it didn't even linger around the 450. So if you guys got 450, you guys have super quick fingers. My entry was 441. Yeah, so if we were even patient for the 445, you guys were uh clear on that one. And if you guys, got the 2.5, 3.5 minutes on the fixed time off, you guys have been super good. Yeah, because I got it, I believe it was right here. Yeah, should have been somewhere right here. No, actually, I took it right here. Yeah, so uh great job, guys. Let's see. So one idea completed. Super profit. Let's see. What we'll do is we'll still mark out this chart here. Now, for the time being, I know we were looking for that downward movement at the Oh, I'm sorry. I think I told somebody the wrong. I was telling them the wrong price. It was 515. Why did I say 525? Maybe I'll. Oh, yes. That's why. I knew that number was important for a reason. This zone here, that zone for a downward movement was going to be pretty good. But right now, I'm not super sold on the idea because look at that. Oh, geez. If you guys rolled, you guys are in super profit. Um, just in case you guys got a bad entry, you guys, that's a huge candle. Um, disregard this zone, disregard this number here. Because although we're close to the middle of the Bollinger Band, we're at a good um, level to make that right shoulder. I don't like how strong this candle is and that we're still in a neutral zone. So do not take a downward movement. I mean, ideally you could, but that's if because remember about the 50% retracement of the previous candle. Just know where the candle closes. If there's a lot of wick on top, don't trust it. Number two, the time would have to be cut in half. I don't want anyone to risk that. Just don't do it. Forget it. It's a good idea, but it's not the best idea. I mean, we could watch it. Honestly, if I wasn't looking at indicators for additional confirmations, if I was just playing off of a price action, I may have taken this. But look at that. Let's just see what happens. It's rejecting it, but as you see, it rejects it, goes right back up. It's breaking above it. The red line here is that other level of possible resistance, but I'm not in love with it. Oh, and that's the thing, though. That's the thing, guys. Even though I've explained what it can possibly do here, and that 50% retracement of the previous candle that I talk about all the time, remember, there is a lot of economic news. All that has to happen is just one article come out on uh on Fox or something. You just one social media post is all it takes to take us out of a great idea. And literally it can make the movement, but it could go up there all within 1 minute. Price could go all the way up here, give us our entry, go all the way down here and do the 50% retracement of the previous candle that I always talk about, and then go straight back up and disrespect every level. And that was the crazy thing is that, people, um, when I was in the academy, there was people that would get furious. They'd be furious when they wouldn't get the ideas coming at them, left and right, or like the educator wouldn't give them 3 to 5, 6 ideas. It's like you guys just want to get rich quick. That's not that's not a calculated risk. I mean, I could teach you guys price action all day long. But if you're on these charts long enough, you'll know when to take risks and when not to. I mean, I can tell you guys about the moves. I could tell you all about the moves all day long. And those moves will always happen. But in these current conditions, the moves can all happen in 1 minute. And if you have a trade for 5 minutes, 1 minute could have made all the action and then just taken you out the last couple minutes. That's what I love about you guys is you guys are disciplined. You guys know to wait. And that's how we get our accounts up. We have fundamental analysis all day long. We have technical analysis all day long. We see price action. We know how it works. We've also experienced been taken out a few times. You don't like it, I don't like it. Yeah, usually the 5 minute trades, they'll be like a couple minutes into the next candle. Usually like a minute or two. Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. Yes. For those asking, what we're talking about in the chat here is the a lot of um a lot of my students are saying that although they see the idea would have completed for the downward movement, they're happy they didn't take it because we're only taking ones with the highest probability. And even though the idea that I had for the downward movement for up here, even though that would have completed, that wasn't it wasn't a good enough idea for us to take. And the reason for that is because even though price went up to our area, all within 1 minute from the opening of the candle, which was here, it went all the way up here to our entry zone, or we would have taken it between somewhere in this zone. All within the first minute, it went up, went all the way down, stayed messing around back and forth, uh, ended up closing here, which is if you would have had a full 5 minutes, the next candle could have taken you out. Now, with that same uh, movement that went up so high and low all in the first minute, it could have came down. It could have did its 50% retracement and then continue to go up all within the first minute. If we would have taken that for a 5 minute trade, it could have taken us out. So we didn't risk it. And that's part of being disciplined. Look, we've been on for close to an hour now. We've only taken one idea, but guess what? That's money in the students' pockets. And you guys that are new here, you're gonna see that happen sometimes, and that's okay. I mean, market barely open, so that was a super good idea that we took earlier. Whoever rolled it, we had a huge candle, um, and it still hasn't come back to the area. And it's doing the move that I was, talking about earlier. It's gonna make a head and shoulders, and eventually, we'll see the downward movement. So that was a great setup, guys. Really, really awesome. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're just gonna look for another possible idea, maybe two if possible. But if we don't find anything, that's also okay. We're not starving for ideas here. Um, yeah, all that move. Yeah, so usually I have all my chart laid out in whole number theory and whatnot. And with how price moved on Friday for non-farm payroll, with all the major news that came out, prices above all my lines here. If you see, passed it and stayed above it. It's been using the 50. Well, here's the thing, guys. So right now I don't have very much yeah, I don't have very many confirmations to say we have a good um put idea here. And reason being is because this pair, for example, odd CHF, it's the highest it's been in a long time. So in order to go back to see an old level that we could possibly see a rejection at, would have to analyze it on the daily. And to be completely honest with you, I personally don't want to go that far because that's what tomorrow's for. So if we have price moving within this area tomorrow, Tuesday, we at least have something to go off of, like this area here. Resistance turns support. Maybe later on tonight, you guys could use this area, this zone here. So if price comes down, actually like it right here, this general zone. You see price come down here later on, good look for an upward movement. Why is that? Well, we saw earlier on the strength, on the currency strength, that CHF is really weak. So it could be a while for it to get down here. And then the Australian being as strong as it has been, it'll be enough to give it a good movement to the upside, at least for 5 minutes. But so far as a downward movement, well, we really have nothing to go off of. The only thing I really am interested in is the 886 level. Why there? Well, as we see, that was our ultimate high. Price action of the candles, we had it closing here, this area, and open here. And that's pretty close to the 886. That's the only reason I may have taken it for a downside move, but I'd have to have 3 confirmations down here And I'd like to see CHF get a little bit stronger, and it's not, so let's scrap that idea. We're not that thirsty for an idea. Gee whiz. So on my lines here, or even back when I used to do the quarters, which this pair of quarters are super important. They get used a lot. 225. It's used quite a bit. I don't need it. There's a lot of lines I don't need. It's how long it's been since price has been up here. Yeah, I'll check now. Just trying to make some room, that's all. um, doo, doo, doo. Oh yeah, it was pretty brutal today. Yeah, today it snowed like about 6 to 7 inches, right? So, um, did I do 50% of that? Oh no, let's check. Yeah, so we still have Australian stronger than the yen. Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, so one of our students just asked if we can make a video going over how to really use the currency strength meter. That's actually a really, really good idea. I can see the thing is most new traders, um, you know, they listen to the educators on at the academy, and um, they hear them talk about the currency strength meter. And I believe a lot of the students, a lot of the new um, aspiring traders, what ends up happening is they hear one educator say that going to the currency strength meter is super important. And then you have some educators say they don't even look at it because it doesn't matter. Um, Truthfully speaking, I see the logic in why some educators say that it's not a good thing and why it is. Guys, really quick, I'm looking at the 150 level. The 150 level could give us a good reaction on odd JPY. 150. Reason for 618, half of the 50 level We have a general area of support, and we're getting to the oversold position, and it is for 5 minutes. So going back to about the currency strength meter, yeah. So there's, some educators would say they don't really care for it, that they don't even bother paying attention to it, and it's because there's price action traders, there's support resistance traders, and usually those are the traders that look just for reactions, nothing long term, no real pivot in the market, right? So they're looking at levels that um, they just want some kind of reaction. But in all reality, that's what we're all looking for, is a reaction in binary. Um, but r- you know, the important part is that to really understand how to be a disciplined trader, how to be uh, a very skilled trader, you uh, should use it. And the reason for that is because what happens is, before you start trading, before you start analyzing, you look at your calendar and you see that, oh, there's no news for a while. Well, what happens is you only see that once. And then from there, um, you end up forgetting at what time a certain pair is supposed to get news. And if you're noticing, if you periodically check the currency strength meter, well, all of a sudden the weakest currency is now strong, and you don't understand why. Well, it could have been that, they just had a news event on that currency. And it can really help you in making a decision on, why you should or shouldn't take a trade. So, the other thing is, if prime example, if JPY had no strength whatsoever and Australian was the strongest pair, and you're expecting price to get to a certain level of support resistance, and you want price to, like, say for example, if you're waiting for, let's just even say the area we're looking at earlier, somewhere around here, but it feels a little bit more clear, like not so many wicks and whatnot. But say you're looking for this zone here, and let's just say the currency pairs were, the strengths were the opposite, that the yen was the strongest and the Australian was the weakest. If you're expecting the Australian to just hit this level here and just go up and stay up, if it's the weakest pair, I'll tell you right now, many, many, many times you're going to see it will not hold that level. You may get like a quick little, 30-second reaction, then it just drops and drops, and then it never comes back. And what happens is, a lot of people stay rolling over thinking it's gonna clear, and it's not. And that's where you start losing trades or losing money. You start digging in from the previous day's profits, and then you get into the previous week's profits. And once you do that, you're asking for an account to be blown. So, in my opinion, it's really important to understand and utilize that currency strength meter. Now, with that being said, there's also a real important thing to understand. This updates every so often, okay? But in general, we'll go over all the different sites, but in general, This is telling you the strength from the action that's been going on all day or a certain session, whether it's the Tokyo session, New York. Um, this is telling you the general movement, and that's more like for FinViz, like those currency strengths really, really, really go off of um, they go off of the general movement over the session or the day. So we saw the Australian stronger than the yen. Well, if you see here, we've had more upward movement than downward movement. So, I mean, in that aspect, yeah, then the currency strength meter's completely accurate. It's telling you that, um, that the Australian stronger. Well, it has been. It made all of that move this today. So it doesn't necessarily mean that at this given second that your trade's always going to win just because the Australian's stronger. It's not the case. If anything, you could just have an added confirmation. So, like when I'm analyzing here, got one confirmation, two confirmation, three confirmation. Got the bottom of the Bollinger Band in this zone. I like it. That's a fourth confirmation. You have the 618 level of the Fibonacci retracement. Another confirmation. We're close to the 50 EMA. Another confirmation. So, that's. And then a half. Another confirmation. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the currency strength meters in our favor. That's 8 confirmations. Does that mean we're going to 100% win this trade if it comes down here? No. Is it a great chance? Yeah. And honestly, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to give you a true zone. I want you guys to take very, very. Oh, hold on. Yeah. I want you guys to take this very, very serious. Okay. Just because the 618 is saying 154, we have the 150, doesn't mean that it can't overextend a little bit. And what I like is this zone here. Came up here, down, back up, used it again here, closed there for a reason. Went up, came down, closed here. Next candle, it opened here. This is another little zone, respected the 50. Some came down pretty close to it, then went back up. So, this general zone. So if we're looking for an uptrend idea, I like it from the 154 to the 144. So the other thing is our RSI is in the neutral zone. But what I like is where price wanted to start moving to the upside. So it wasn't like a full confirmation, but it was enough for me. We're coming up on the 11 o'clock hour. That's what can give us our entry right to our zone here, and then the reaction to the upside. So if we're paying attention, We have the Chinese yen getting a. Oh, there we went through it. So, Chinese yen, why does that matter? Well, in my experience, um, in my experience, when the Chinese yen moves, sometimes the actual Japanese yen moves for some reason. It's just because it's close to the area in general, that country. So, again, let me explain this a little bit further. So, price usually likes to react at a psychological number. 100 would be a psychological number. 150, it's a good number. Well, what we have is the 618 Fibonacci retracement. We have that half number there. And we have this that was used for a very important reason. What that reason is, I don't know. I'm not the market maker, but that's how come I really, really like this zone. Yeah, no, I don't want to make an alert for this. And the reason I don't want to make an alert is because we're really close to that 11 o'clock hour. And what happens at an 11 o'clock hour or any new hour is price moves super fast to a given area to do a quick reaction. Something like this. You see this? It was all the way over here when it opened. Came all the way down, spiked there, went back up. And that's exactly what it could do here. How come you didn't say it on here? Oh, so um, on my phone, it gave me a alert for odd NZD. I guess it stayed activated, but it's pretty crazy. It came back down, gave us the entry again, and then back up. And if you remember, this area here was our old 886, or actually, it was right here. But it came back down to retest 786, and it's giving a good reaction off of it. So that'd have been two ideas, but that's no big deal. It really isn't. Reason I didn't use the fib level from here is because in these in these markets, on the market these days, um, these pairs are just like the movements it makes when it makes them at those 15-minute intervals, the 1 hours, the half hour. Um, it moves a lot. This is a fib level more for the 1 minute. And um, to my students that have been with me for a while, you guys know we would analyze the 1 minute for long. We use the 1 minute uh, for quite a while, and then once December came around, December really did it to us. We're coming up with amazing ideas, and we were losing certain ideas that shouldn't have they shouldn't have lost, but that's where we had to just change it up a little bit. So we started with the 5 minute because the 5 minutes a little bit more stable. um, same theory, same theory. um, but what happened is the 1 minute we were taking, you know in one, say you'd have a training session would go like 3-0, and then the next session would like go 0 and 2 or 1 and 3, and it was like really really random, and like it was for no good reason, because you know we're taking trades with like so many confirmations, and they just weren't clearing. So that's when we changed it up, and we went to the 5 minute. Yeah, this will be uploaded. Yeah, well, it's all about transparency. I mean, I'd really 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 love for everyone to see what we have to offer. Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, so again, for you guys that can't see our chat, um we're getting questions. Okay, here's the 11 o'clock hour. It could take us right down here. So 154 to 144. Um, so whoever's not on the chat, for everyone out there, some of the students are just um, saying, well, we've taken one idea in the past in over an hour, and they're fine with it, and they're glad, even though we've seen two ideas that we had that I specifically said not to take, and it was for a very good reason, and that reason was is that market's unstable. But they're happy we're that we've only taken one. In the previous session, and you guys will actually see it on another video when I'm talking about discipline and whatnot. I specifically say that um, if you can't respect the small wins, you will never make it to the big wins. So, if you're on here for an hour and the last pair we, if you would have taken the same trade I did, I think it was only like a $13, $14 profit. Now I say only because in normal conditions, when I'm trading on my own, the numbers that are on the screen right now would be a lot bigger. But if you can't respect these humble wins at the beginning, I guarantee you, you will never make it to the big ones. And what I'm talking about is if you can be happy right now, if this idea that we're looking at, if it came down to our area and we took this trade and made $17.25, if you can be happy with that, if you could be happy with that, eventually you're going to see the day where your account's up and you're making that in one trade. And that would have been the trade of the hour. Or you could be at this, and that could be what you made in 1 hour, and one idea, one trade. Some people in one day it's this 17,250. But let's see, it's really moving down. 154 144 154 144. Check for that reaction. Let's see if we still have our confirmations. Yeah, I believe they'll still give it to us. That's a strong candle though. Even at that, would still get a retracement. I believe in it. 154, 144. Yeah, no, it's still going down. It's still gonna go down. Don't worry, we didn't miss anything. It's gonna give the full 5 minutes again. I know it. Hold on, maybe I could trick it. No, not trick it, but maybe I could reset the countdown. Let's see. And no, it's still going down. It's just retesting the 200 level. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so we have a question here on if I'm still refraining from trading USD. Uh, yes and no. So for the sake of these sessions, um, I really don't care for trading the United States dollar because you could get to some really good levels. You could get to support resistance. You could get to any of these, whether they're fundamental areas, technical areas, and the USD is just a savage. It does not care what you think you're seeing. And if you want to trade the US dollar, meaning like Euro USD, USD JPY, USD CAD, you have to add a lot of time to your analysis. And basically, the USD is really disrespectful. Um, you could get to your institutional levels and it'll disrespect them. Like, you literally have to be monitoring actually the DXY, and you have to find like great reversal points if you're looking for a certain action. So if you're analyzing, let's say, USD JPY, you're getting to a good enough, or not good enough, a great area. You have to analyze the DXY to make sure it's at a great pivot zone or reaction zone. So this one's just playing around, it's taking forever. Um, so case in point, this is the DXY. It makes stupid moves. It makes moves that are just as crazy, and if not crazier, than any other pair. So just so you guys know, the US dollar, the DXY, is at its highest level, I would say, in like the last 2 years easily. Um, so like if you're looking for a trade on USD JPY and you're looking for an upward movement, now would have been the ideal time to take that trade. Maybe because you want a reaction off of here, but we're going in the opposite direction. So yeah. And that's according that you'd still have to be analyzing the USD JPY because all we're looking at is USD. Now, if the JPY is also going up, look at that crazy move. You know what? Looking at the JPY, the JXY, sorry. Um, I'm not sure if it's going to go to our area now. Actually, let me do a straight line. Oh yeah, it could. Not sure how long it'll take, but um so for our students that are still on, uh keep this level jotted down. Make an alert if you need to. Before you take this idea though, what I will say is to confirm that you, well, make sure you have all your confirmations, that you have everything oversold and that your strength meter is still in your favor. Because if we were on the 1 minute, it respected exactly what we were looking for in the first place, our old style. So for all the new folks out here, what I was explaining was when we used to analyze the 1 minute, um, this pair already respected our old strategy area, which was the 886. So it was actually the last real low. And the reason we won't use it on the 5 is because, again, the 5 minute makes way bigger movements. So it already used 886. So actually, let's make sure and confirm this move. So for, again, the students, make sure you have all your confirmations before you attempt to take it. And actually it'll be invalid if it passes your 343 area. We still have that down. Let NZD use that level a lot. See what I mean? This is exactly what I tell you guys. It's our zones, our levels are amazing. How many times we could have used that? 2, 3. And this one. I mean, if we didn't have um, the volatility that we do these days, we would have cleared this trade already for sure 3 times. That would have been our 3% for sure. Odds coming down on USD. Yeah, it didn't use the zero, so it. Uh, yeah, just make sure your confirmations are there. Actually, let's see what we got here. I'll just make a new one. Oh, actually, I can't. This is another reason why I can't truly use the last low, is because our last. Actually, I could. I'm sorry, I thought it was still above the Bollinger. 7-2, I don't believe you. Let's see. We'll use 886. So that's going to be 350 to 347. CAD Chief. CAD Chief 347 350. 357 350. Actually, that was a good level it reacted off of there. Yep, knew it. So, as we see here, we see in the past, this was good resistance. Turned into somewhat of support, turned into somewhat of resistance, resistance, resistance. Now is acting as support. Got the 15-minute, and it's giving you the reaction you want. We're a little late on this move, guys. This could be the 11:30 and the 12 o'clock. Make sure you have all your confirmations. Ah, Chief JPY, we missed this one. It's pretty perfect too. Chief JPY actually did exactly what odd JPY does. So it's okay. And actually, I would have taken odd JPY any day over the week because Chief was the weakest one. Now, mind you guys, again, the currency strength meter. That's the important part. Is Chief was the franc was the weakest one earlier. It was showing it as the weakest one, and in general, if we look here, price has really been working back down. But that doesn't mean it's not strong enough to react off of a certain level. It's just you have to have your confirmations. Here, we were oversold. Oversold. Overextension of the Bollinger Band. Great support area. And it used it. That was perfect. But our confirmation, added confirmation, was Australian was stronger. Okay, this one, not much. Don't like that. This one, didn't like it. Euro GBP. This one I haven't traded in a while. Honestly, this one, I took some longer term trades on it and it took me out. Remember that move we talked about earlier? It's gonna go above, stay going above. So that's gone. Don't need to keep it on the chart forever. I already made the move. I had already seen it. We talked about it. It worked. That's it's almost a triple top there. So again, guys, it's really important. This is the USD here. Um, okay, so for my students, what does triple top mean? Exactly, it's gonna go down. I hope you guys just catch on to everything. I really love that about you guys. Yeah, yeah, we know Sundays are Sundays. That was a decent level there. Not in love with it. Okay, so I like this support, but it already reacted. Missed it. Missed it pretty much. It can, but if you guys remember, USD is supposed to start, Euro USD is supposed to start going down, which looking at GBP USD also supposed to go down. I don't know if it's strong enough to give us that reaction. That's what I talked about earlier. Is there's certain traders that just love support and resistance. It's not good enough for me on USD. They could just disrespect that altogether. I got confirmations. I don't know if it's all the confirmations I need. Yeah, GBP still saying it's stronger in USD. However, let's analyze this really quick because you guys know I hate USD. But to see, yeah, we'd be taken out on this one, guys. That pattern. If it gets back to 886, it's no good. Ideally, it should react from right there and stay above it. Definitely. Yeah, it's going to disrespect it. So if USD is going down, GBP isn't going to bother with reaching that zone. It's going to be one of those super close calls. And it's going to probably retest this area and disrespect this area. So I don't like it. Yeah, I'm already looking at USD. That's a bad thing. All right, guys. Well, we took one great idea. We saw a couple of, or a few good ideas that would have went the right way, but I'm glad we didn't take them because that just shows we're getting better at being more disciplined, being more consistent. And tomorrow, I'm not sure on the time we'll go live. We'll try to go. Actually, you know what, guys? Since we really didn't make our percentage for today, um, we'll go live between 10:30. Let's say between 10:30 and 11 tomorrow. Or actually, I'm sorry, 10 and 10:30 a.m. tomorrow, and then for the night session, I'll let you guys know. But we'll make up what we're supposed to make today or tonight, and then we'll make tomorrow's percentage tomorrow night. But as always, guys, I love you guys. Thank you for staying with me for the last couple hours. Um, just remember that if we can stay disciplined and we could stay um, really just focused, completely focused on our overall goal, we'll make it exactly to where we said we're gonna make it. And for anyone that's new out there, still watching, there's a huge challenge coming. Um, and I know my students are all on board for it. A lot of them are going to be way ahead of the game, but we'll be announcing that challenge sometime either tomorrow or on Tuesday. We're going to hope to announce it tomorrow, though. And this challenge is going to be one of the greatest challenges, probably on YouTube or any other social media platform. And everyone is welcome to join in on this challenge. And yeah, so just stay tuned. You guys will know all about it. And for all of you, thanks again for sticking around. I hope you guys learned something. Um, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.